Admiral Kim Woo-jin stood in the command center of Luna Station, staring at the screens showing Earth below. The blue planet that had been home to 8 billion people now burned with fires that could be seen from space. Only 3 months ago, the alien ships had arrived without warning. The Vektari Empire had come to wipe out humanity, and they were almost done. Kim Woo-jin was 52 years old and had spent 30 years in space defense. He had gray hair and tired eyes that had seen too much death. Behind him, his officers worked at their stations, but he could hear the fear in their voices. Everyone knew they were the last humans left alive. "Sir, we just lost contact with Transport Ship 7, Captain Park Sora said from her communications desk. She was young, maybe 28, with short black hair and hands that shook when she thought no one was looking. That was the last evacuation ship trying to reach the outer colonies. Kim Woo-jin closed his eyes. Transport Ship 7 had carried 5,000 people, families, children, scientists. Now they were gone, just like all the others. The Vektari ships had hunted down every human vessel that tried to escape. They wanted to kill every single human in the universe. "How many people do we have left on the station?" he asked. 50,000, sir," replied Lieutenant Han Soo-jin from her tactical station. She was a small woman with glasses who always spoke in a quiet voice. "That's everyone. The last humans alive." Through the big windows of the command center, Kim Woo-jin could see the enemy fleet. 10,000 alien warships hung in space like dark stars. Each ship was massive, bigger than anything humans had ever built. The aliens called themselves the Vektari Empire, and they had destroyed 47 other worlds before coming to Earth. Dr. Lee Min-ho walked up to the admiral. He was the station's chief scientist, a thin man with messy hair who always looked worried. "Admiral, I need to speak with you privately," he said. Kim Woo-jin looked at his old friend. They had known each other since military school. "Not now. Min-ho, we need to prepare for their final attack." "That's exactly what I want to talk about," Dr. Lee said. His voice was serious. "There might be another way." Before Kim Woo-jin could answer, the main screen lit up. The face of an alien appeared. Blue skin, 4 yellow eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. This was Commander Thextal, leader of the Vektari fleet. "Humans of Luna Station," the alien said in perfect English. "I am Commander Thextal of the glorious Vektari Empire. Your pathetic species has been judged unworthy of existence. In 6 hours my fleet will destroy your final hiding place. You may surrender now and die quickly, or resist and suffer greatly before death." The alien's laugh was like breaking glass. "You are insects pretending to be warriors. Your entire civilization was destroyed in 3 months. Soon the universe will forget humans ever existed." The screen went black. The command center was silent except for the hum of machines. Kim Woo-jin felt anger burning in his chest. These aliens had murdered billions of innocent people. They had destroyed cities, hospitals, schools. They had killed children who had never hurt anyone. "Get me an open channel to their fleet," he ordered Park Sora. "Sir?" she asked, looking confused. "Do it," he said. Park Sora pressed buttons on her console. "Channel open, Admiral." Kim Woo-jin walked to the center of the command center. Every person on the station would hear this message. Every alien ship would hear it too. He thought about his wife and daughter, killed when the aliens destroyed Seoul. He thought about all the people who had trusted him to protect them. "This is Admiral Kim Woo-jin of the United Earth Defense Force," he said, his voice strong and clear. "Commander Thextal, you have committed genocide against our people. You have destroyed our cities and murdered our families. You have ignored every attempt we made for peace." He paused, looking around at his crew. They were watching him with hope in their eyes for the first time in months. "I offer you one final warning," he continued. "Withdraw your forces from our solar system immediately, or face the consequences of humanity's last resort. You have 36 hours to comply. This is your only chance." The silence that followed was complete. Then Commander Thextal's voice came through the speakers, filled with amusement. 36 hours? The alien laughed. "Foolish human, we will finish you in 6 hours. Your last resort is probably some small bombs or obsolete weapons. We have seen everything your species can do. You are weak. You are nothing. The communication ended. Kim Woo-jin turned to Dr. Lee Min-ho, who was staring at him with wide eyes. Now will you tell me about this other way? The Admiral asked quietly. Dr. Lee looked around at the other officers, then back at Kim Woo-jin. Not here. Come with me to Lab 7. And Admiral, bring Captain Park and Lieutenant Han. They'll need to know too. As they walked through the station's corridors, Kim Woo-jin saw the faces of the survivors. Families huddled together in temporary shelters. Engineers working to keep the life support systems running. Soldiers checking their weapons even though they knew their guns were useless against alien warships. Lab 7 was in the deepest part of Luna Station. Dr. Lee used his security card to open 3 different doors. Inside was equipment Kim Woo-jin had never seen before. Strange machines that hummed with energy. Computers with screens showing patterns that hurt to look at. What is this place? Park So-ra asked. This is Project Silent Guardian, Dr. Lee said. We've been working on it for 10 years, ever since we first detected alien signals from deep space. We knew someday something like this might happen. He walked to a console and pressed his palm against a scanner. Lights began blinking all around the room. The technology is based on quantum mechanics and dimensional physics, he explained. We learned some of it from studying the wreckage of the first alien scouts that came to our system 5 years ago. The rest we figured out ourselves. Lieutenant Han Soo-jin looked at the machines with wonder. What does it do? Dr. Lee took a deep breath. It doesn't destroy enemy ships. It moves them to another dimension. They stay alive, but they can't get back. They can't communicate with their fleet. They just disappear. Kim Woo-jin stared at his old friend. How many ships can it affect? Thousands at once if we set it to maximum power. But Admiral, Dr. Lee's face was grim. Each time we use it, we damage the fabric of space itself. Use it too much, and we could tear holes in reality that never heal. Outside Lab 7, alarms began to sound. Park So-ra checked her communicator. Admiral, she said, her voice tight with fear. Long-range sensors show the alien fleet is starting to move. They're beginning their attack. Kim Woo-jin looked at the strange machines around him, then at his officers. 50,000 people were counting on him to save them. The last humans in the universe needed a miracle. Min-ho, he said quietly. Start the activation sequence. 18 hours had passed since Admiral Kim Woo-jin gave his warning to the Vectari fleet. In the command center of Luna Station, everyone watched their screens with nervous eyes. The alien ships were getting closer, moving in perfect formation, like a swarm of metal insects. Sergeant Choi Hyun-woo sat at the long-range sensor station. He was a quiet man who had joined the Space Force straight from college. His job was to watch for enemy movements and count how many ships were coming to kill them. Today that number was over 10,000. Admiral, Choi Hyun-woo called out, his voice shaking slightly. The first wave is in attack range. 2,000 ships, moving fast toward our position. Commander Thextal had organized his fleet into 5 waves. Each wave had enough firepower to destroy a planet. He wanted to be sure no human survived this time. Kim Woo-jin stood behind Dr. Lee Min-ho, who was working at the Project Silent Guardian control panel. The scientist's hands moved quickly over buttons and switches that controlled technology no human fully understood. Are we ready? The Admiral asked. As ready as we can be, Dr. Lee replied. Sweat ran down his face even though the command center was cold. I've never tested it on this many ships at once. Lieutenant Han Soo-jin looked up from her tactical display. Sir, the first wave is firing on our outer defenses. Impact in 30 seconds. Everyone in the command center held their breath. Through the windows, they could see bright flashes of light as alien weapons hit Luna Station's shields. The station shook, and several people fell to their knees. Now, Min-ho, Kim Woo-jin said quietly. Dr. Lee pressed a large red button. The lights in the command center flickered. Deep in the station, the Project Silent Guardian machines began to work. They made a sound like singing, but wrong somehow, like music played backward. Quantum field building, Dr. Lee said, reading numbers on his screen. Dimensional gateway opening. Field strength at 60%, 80%, maximum power. Achieved. Now, he whispered, and pressed another button. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then Sergeant Choi Hyun-woo made a sound like he was choking. "Sir," he said, staring at his sensors. "Sir, they're gone." "What do you mean, gone?" Kim Woo-jin asked. "The first wave, all 2,000 ships. They were there 1 second, and now, nothing. No debris, no explosion, no energy readings, they just vanished." Captain Park So-ra was listening to alien radio signals through her headphones. Her face went pale. "Admiral, I'm picking up panicked transmissions from the Vectari fleet. They're asking what happened to their first wave." On the main screen, they could see the remaining alien ships had stopped moving. The perfect formation was broken. Ships were turning in circles, their commanders trying to understand what had just happened. "They're scared," Lieutenant Han Soo-jin said with wonder in her voice. "For the first time, the aliens are afraid." Commander Thextal's voice came through the speakers, but now he didn't sound confident. He sounded angry and confused. "What weapon did you use?" he demanded. "Where are my ships? Answer me, humans." Kim Woo-jin smiled for the first time in months. "Dr. Lee, can we do it again?" "Yes, but each use drains our power systems. We can't keep this up forever." Commander Thextal was speaking to his own fleet now, thinking the humans couldn't understand his language. But Park So-ra had studied alien communications for years. "He's ordering the second wave to attack," she translated. 3,000 ships, this time. He thinks we got lucky somehow. The second wave of alien ships moved forward more carefully than the first. They spread out, trying not to fly too close together. Their weapons charged, ready to destroy Luna Station. "They're learning," Kim Woo-jin said. "But not fast enough." "Minho?" "Already working on it," Dr. Lee replied. His fingers danced over the controls. "This is a bigger group. It will take more power." The station shook again as alien weapons hit their shields. Warning lights flashed red. Someone in the back of the command center was crying quietly. "Field building," Dr. Lee announced. "Dimensional gateway expanding to cover the larger area. This is going to hurt our power grid." The singing sound from the machines got louder, more twisted. The lights went out completely for 5 seconds, then came back dim and flickering. "Now," Dr. Lee said, and activated the field again. This time, everyone saw it happen. On the main screen, 3,000 alien warships simply faded away like ghosts. One moment they were there, weapons firing, engines glowing. The next moment, empty space. Choi Hyun-woo checked his sensors 3 times before he spoke. "Confirmed. Second wave completely gone. No trace of them anywhere." The alien fleet that remained was in chaos now. Park So-ra could hear dozens of different voices on their communications, all talking at once. Captains asking for orders. Engineers saying their instruments weren't working. Some aliens were praying to their gods. "Commander Thextal is trying to keep control," Park So-ra said, "but his officers are questioning him. They want to retreat." "How many ships does he have left?" Kim Woo-jin asked. 5,000, Han Soo-jin replied. "Still more than enough to destroy us, but they don't know that." Dr. Lee was checking his power readings. "Admiral, we can maybe do this 2 more times before our systems fail completely. The dimensional fields are putting huge stress on our reactors." Kim Woo-jin nodded. He opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. "Commander Thextal," he said, his voice calm and strong. "You now have 18 hours remaining to withdraw from our solar system. As you can see, your Empire's technology is not as advanced as you believed. Leave now or join your missing comrades." There was a long silence. Then Thextal's voice came back, quieter than before. "What have you done with my ships, my crews?" "They are safe," Kim Woo-jin lied. He didn't know if the displaced crews were safe or not. He didn't know if they were alive or dead in whatever dimension they had been sent to. "But they cannot return. Unless you withdraw immediately." Another silence. Park So-ra was listening to the alien internal communications. He's calling for reinforcements, she said quietly. He sent a message to the Vektari High Command asking for their 6th Fleet. Kim Woo-jin felt his heart sink. The 6th Fleet was the Vektari Empire's largest military force, 50,000 warships commanded by their most ruthless admiral. How? Long before they arrive, he asked. Unknown, Park Sora replied. But if they're coming from the nearest Vektari base, maybe 2 days. Dr. Lee looked up from his control panel. Admiral, if we have to face 50,000 ships, we won't have enough power. The dimensional displacement system will burn out after 1 or 2 uses. Kim Woo-jin stared out the window at the remaining alien ships. They were keeping their distance now, afraid to attack but too proud to retreat. Soon, reinforcements would arrive that could destroy Luna Station, even if every shot missed. Minho, he said quietly. You said this technology damages space itself. What exactly does that mean? Dr. Lee was quiet for a moment. Each time we open a dimensional gateway, we create small tears in the fabric of reality. Most of them heal themselves quickly. But if we do it too much or make the field too big, what happens? The tears might not heal. They might get bigger. Eventually, they could destroy not just our solar system, but spread to other star systems as well. Lieutenant Han Soo-jin looked up from her station. Sir, I'm detecting movement in the alien fleet. It looks like they're pulling back to a safer distance. Good, Kim Woo-jin said. Let them think about what they've seen. Maybe some of them are smart enough to leave. But even as he said it, he knew the truth. The Vektari Empire had never retreated from a battle. They had conquered 47 worlds by never giving up, never showing mercy, never accepting defeat. In 2 days, 50,000 ships would arrive, and then humanity would face its final test. Choi Hyun-woo suddenly straightened at his sensor station. Admiral, I'm picking up something strange, very faint signals coming from nowhere. What do you mean, nowhere? Kim Woo-jin asked. The signals seemed to be coming from empty space, from the exact locations where the alien ships disappeared. Park. Sora put on her headphones and listened carefully. After a few minutes, her face went white. Admiral, she said in a whisper. It's them, the displaced crews. They're trying to send messages, but the signals are weak and broken. I can barely make out words, but they're asking for help. Kim Woo-jin felt a cold feeling in his stomach. Wherever Project Silent Guardian had sent those ships, the crews were still alive, still conscious, still trapped in whatever dimension they had been sent to. And soon, 50,000 more ships would arrive, seeking revenge for their missing comrades. News of the missing Vektari ships spread across their empire faster than light itself. On the capital world of Vectar Prime, Supreme War Master Gexmore sat in his command throne, staring at reports that made no sense. 5,000 warships did not simply vanish. It was impossible. Gexmore was the most powerful military leader in the galaxy. He had personally overseen the destruction of 20 star systems. His blue skin was covered with scars from 100 battles, and his 4 eyes burned with fury that had never been satisfied. Bring me the communication logs from Commander Thextal, he ordered his aide. I want to hear exactly what these humans said. The aide, a young Vektari named Kexlin, played the recording of Admiral Kim Woo-jin's warning. Gexmore listened to the human's calm voice with growing anger. Final warning, he snarled. Last resort? These insects think they can threaten the Vektari Empire? Sir, Kexlin said carefully, 5,000 ships is our largest single loss in the Empire's history. Perhaps we should study this threat more carefully. Gexmore struck his aide across the face with one massive hand. There is no threat. Humans are weak creatures with primitive technology. Commander Thextal made some mistake or fell into some trap. Send the 6th Fleet immediately. The 6th Fleet was the Empire's most feared military force. 50,000 warships commanded by War Admiral Krexval, a Vektari who had never lost a battle. His ships had turned entire star systems into dust. His name was whispered in fear across the galaxy. Meanwhile, in Earth's solar system, Captain Yoon Tai-ho crouched in the small bridge of his stealth ship. He was hiding behind one of Saturn's moons, watching the alien fleet with electronic eyes. His ship was designed to be invisible. No heat signature, no energy emissions, just a dark piece of metal drifting in space. Yun Tai-ho was 35 years old and had been a spy for most of his adult life. He spoke 6 alien languages and had spent years learning how their technology worked. Right now, he was the only human outside Luna Station still alive and free. His job was to listen to alien communications and report back to Admiral Kim Woo-jin. What he heard made his blood freeze. "Luna Station, this is Ghost Ship," he whispered into his radio. "I have bad news. The aliens are calling for massive reinforcements." On Luna Station, Kim Woo-jin received the message in his private office. Dr. Lee Min-ho was with him, along with Captain Park So-ra and Lieutenant Han Soo-jin. They all looked exhausted. None of them had slept since the battle began. "How many ships?" Kim Woo-jin asked. 50,000, sir. War Admiral Krexval is commanding them. Intelligence says he's the most dangerous military leader the aliens have. Doctor, Lee dropped into a chair. 50,000, we can't displace that many. Our power systems will fail after maybe 3 large displacements. There's something else, Yun Tai-ho's voice continued. I'm intercepting fragments of communications from the displaced ships. The alien crews are still alive, but they're trapped in some kind of gray void. Their ships are slowly failing, and they can't get home. Park So-ra looked sick. They're suffering. We trapped them in a place where they'll die slowly. They were coming to commit genocide, Kim Woo-jin said firmly. They would have killed every man, woman, and child on Luna Station without mercy. But are we becoming like them? Dr. Lee asked quietly. Before anyone could answer, Engineer Nam Ji-won entered the office. She was a small woman with oil-stained clothes and tired eyes. She had been working for 30 hours straight trying to keep the station running. "Admiral," she said, "we have serious problems with life support. The alien bombardment damaged our main air recycling systems. We have maybe 4 days of breathable air left." Kim Woo-jin closed his eyes. 50,000 enemy ships were coming. Their power systems were failing. Their air was running out, and they had trapped 5,000 alien crew members in a dimension of suffering. "There's more," Nam Ji-won continued. "The quantum displacement system is putting enormous stress on our main reactor. Each time we use it, we risk a complete power failure. If that happens, life support dies immediately." Dr. Bae Yu-na knocked on the office door and entered without waiting for permission. She was the station's alien language expert, a woman who could speak 12 different non-human languages. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the transmissions from the displaced ships," she said. "The alien crews are going insane. They're trapped in a place with no stars, no planets, just endless gray emptiness. Some of them are begging their gods for death." "What are they saying exactly?" Kim Woo-jin asked. "The messages are fragmented, but I can make out phrases like the Gray Death and Prison of Silence. They know they can't escape. They know they're going to die there." Park So-ra stood up suddenly. "Sir, I'm receiving a transmission from Commander Thextal. He wants to negotiate." "Put him on screen," Kim Woo-jin ordered. The main display showed the alien commander. Thextal looked different now. His confidence was gone, replaced by fear and anger. His 4 eyes were wide and his hands shook slightly. "Admiral Kim Woo-jin," he said, "I request a meeting between our fleets, under standard galactic war protocols." "We're listening," Kim Woo-jin replied. "Release my missing crews from whatever prison you have created, and I will consider withdrawing from your system." Kim Woo-jin looked at Dr. Lee, who shook his head, sadly. "We can't bring them back," the scientist whispered. "The dimensional displacement is one way. I don't know how to reverse it." "Commander Thextal," Kim Woo-jin said, "your crews cannot be returned, but I will make you an offer. Withdraw all Vectari forces from Earth's solar system immediately. Promise that your empire will never return. Do this, and no more of your ships will disappear." Thextal's face twisted with rage. "Impossible. The Vectari Empire does not negotiate with inferior species. We do not retreat. Then you will share the fate of your missing comrades," Kim Woo-jin said calmly. "You think your trick will work on 50,000 ships?" Thextal laughed, but it was a bitter sound. War Admiral Krexaval is coming. He has never been defeated. He will turn your moon into dust and scatter your atoms across the void. The transmission ended. Kim Woo-jin turned to his officers. How long until the 6th Fleet arrives? He asked. Ghost ship estimates 36 hours, Park So-ra replied. Dr. Lee was staring at his hands. Admiral, there is one possibility. One last option. Tell me. Instead of using the displacement technology defensively, we could try one massive offensive. Strike. Fold space itself around their entire fleet. Create a permanent barrier around our solar system. What would that accomplish? It would trap all 50,000 ships in the displaced dimension, but it would also seal our solar system off from the rest of the galaxy. Nothing could get in or out ever again. Lieutenant Han Soo-jin looked up. What about the side effects? The damage to space itself? Dr. Lee took a deep breath. The quantum field would have to be 1,000 times larger than anything we've attempted. The dimensional tiers might not heal. They could spread to other star systems, possibly destroying inhabited worlds. How many worlds? Kim Woo-jin asked. Unknown. Maybe dozens. Maybe hundreds. The office was silent except for the hum of life support systems that were slowly failing. Outside, the remaining Vectari ships waited in the darkness, afraid to attack, but too proud to leave. Nam Ji-won spoke first. If we do nothing, we all die in 4 days when the air runs out. If we fight 50,000 ships conventionally, we die in minutes. And if we use the super displacement, Park So-ra said quietly, we might save ourselves but kill millions of innocent people on other worlds. Dr. Lee looked at Admiral Kim Woo-jin. There's something else. The quantum field generator would have to be manually calibrated from inside the reactor core. The radiation exposure would be fatal within minutes. Who would have to do it? Kim Woo-jin asked, though he already knew the answer. The station commander. Only you have the security clearance to access the core during an emergency. Kim Woo-jin walked to the window and looked out at Earth. The planet was dark now, its cities burned, its people dead. 50,000 humans survived on this station, the last of their species. In 36 hours, 50,000 alien warships would arrive to finish the job. He thought about his wife and daughter killed in the first days of the invasion. He thought about the children in the station shelters, looking at their parents with trusting eyes. He thought about the alien crews trapped in the gray dimension, slowly going insane from isolation and despair. Get me a secure channel to all department heads, he said finally. It's time to tell everyone the truth about our situation. Let them help decide humanity's fate. But deep in his heart, Kim Woo-jin already knew what choice he would make. War Admiral Krexval stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the small yellow star ahead. This was the Sol system, home to the primitive species that had somehow made 5,000 Vectari ships disappear. He was here to solve that problem, permanently. Krexval was older than most Vectari commanders, with white scars covering his blue skin and cybernetic implants replacing body parts lost in countless battles. He had destroyed 43 star systems in his career. His ships had Ahir, killed over 2 billion sentient beings. He was known throughout the galaxy as the Star Killer. Report, he ordered his tactical officer. 50,000 ships in perfect formation, sir. All weapons charged, all systems ready. We will reach the human moon in 6 hours. Good. But we will not make the same mistake as Commander Thextal. We will not charge blindly into whatever trap these humans have prepared. Krexval had studied the reports carefully. Somehow, the humans had made large groups of ships vanish without leaving debris or energy signatures. This suggested a new type of weapon, possibly based on dimensional technology. Deploy the drone swarms, he ordered. 10,000 autonomous attack drones spread across a wide area. If the humans use their weapon on the drones, we will learn how it works. If they don't, the drones will destroy their base. On Luna Station, the situation was getting desperate. Engineer Nam Ji-won had worked miracles to keep the life support running, but the air was getting thin. People were starting to get headaches and feel dizzy. Captain Park Sora monitored the approaching enemy fleet from the communications center. The alien ships had stopped just outside the range where the previous fleets had disappeared. They were being careful this time. "Admiral," she called to Kim Woo-jin, "they're launching something. Thousands of small objects moving toward us at high speed." Dr. Lee Min-ho looked at the sensor readings. "Attack drones. Unmanned ships with weapons and basic AI. They're using them to test our defenses." Kim Woo-jin understood the strategy immediately. If they used the quantum displacement system on the drones, they would waste precious energy on targets that had no crews to save. If they didn't use it, the drones would destroy Luna Station piece by piece. "How long until the drones reach us?" he asked. 20 minutes, replied Lieutenant Han Soo-jin from her tactical station. In Lab 7, Dr. Shin A-ra was working frantically at a computer terminal. She was the station's theoretical physicist, a woman who understood the mathematics behind the quantum displacement system better than anyone except Dr. Lee. "Admiral, you need to see this," she called urgently. Kim Woo-jin and Dr. Lee rushed to her workstation. The screen showed complex equations and dimensional field calculations that made no sense to non-scientists. "I've been studying the effects of our previous displacements," Dr. Shin explained. "Each time we opened a dimensional gateway, we created small tears in space-time. Most of them healed quickly, but some didn't." She pointed to a graph showing energy readings from around Luna Station. "The tears are growing, slowly, but growing. If we do one more large displacement, especially the supermassive one Dr. Lee suggested, the tears might not stop growing." "What does that mean exactly?" Kim Woo-jin asked. "Imagine space-time as a piece of cloth," Dr. Shin said. "We've been cutting small holes in it. Now the fabric is weak. One more big cut, and the whole thing might tear apart." Dr. Lee looked pale. "How bad could it get?" "In the worst-case scenario, the dimensional collapse could spread at light speed, destroying everything in its path. Not just our solar system. Dozens of nearby star systems could be wiped out completely." Kim Woo-jin felt his heart sink. They had been so focused on saving the last humans that they hadn't considered the cost to other innocent species. Millions of aliens on hundreds of worlds could die if they used their ultimate weapon. "Sir," Park Sora's voice came over the intercom. "The attack drones will reach us in 15 minutes, and I'm detecting more movement in the main fleet. They're preparing for a full assault." Lieutenant Colonel Oh Jae-sung entered Lab 7. He was the station's senior military tactician, a man who had planned defenses against alien attacks for years. His face was grim. "Admiral, I have an idea," he said. "Instead of using the displacement technology defensively, what if we go on the attack? One massive displacement field that targets their entire fleet at once." "We already discussed that," Dr. Lee replied. "The dimensional damage could be catastrophic." "But what if we don't care about the damage?" Oh Jae-sung continued. "What if we accept that this is the end, not just for us but for this entire region of space? We make one final strike that takes out their whole fleet, creating a barrier that nothing can cross ever again." Kim Woo-jin looked around at his officers. These were good people who had dedicated their lives to protecting others. Now they were talking about potentially destroying entire civilizations to save themselves. "There's another problem," Dr. Shin said quietly. "For a displacement field that large, someone would have to manually calibrate the quantum generators from inside the station's reactor core. The radiation levels there would be fatal within minutes." "I'll do it," Dr. Lee said immediately. "No," Kim Woo-jin replied firmly. "I'm the station commander. This is my responsibility." "Sir, with respect, you're needed to coordinate the battle. I know the quantum systems better than anyone. And I have the security clearances to access the reactor core during combat operations," Kim Woo-jin countered. "The system won't respond to anyone else during a military emergency." The argument was interrupted by alarms throughout the station. Park Sora's voice came over the speakers. "All hands, the attack drones have reached our perimeter. Impact in 60 seconds. Kim Woo-jin looked at his watch. In 5.5 hours, 50,000 warships would begin their final attack. They had enough air for maybe 3 more days. Their quantum weapon could destroy them along with their enemies, and millions of other innocent beings across multiple star systems. "Min-ho," he said to Dr. Lee, Start preparing the super displacement field. Target the entire enemy fleet. Admiral, the risks. I understand the risks, but if we do nothing, 50,000 humans die and the Vectari Empire continues conquering and murdering across the galaxy. At least this way, we take them with us. The station shook as the first attack drones hit their outer defenses. Through the windows, they could see explosions in the distance as automated weapons tried to stop the incoming swarm. Dr. Lee began working at the quantum field controls. This will take 4 hours to charge properly. We'll only get one chance. Make it count, Kim Woo-jin said. He walked to a communication terminal and opened a channel to the entire station. This is Admiral Kim Woo-jin speaking to all survivors, he said. In 5 hours, we will make our final stand against the alien fleet. We have a weapon that can destroy them, but using it will likely destroy us as well. Some of you may die in the process. All of you will be cut off from the rest of the galaxy forever. He paused, thinking about his next words carefully. I want you to know that you are the bravest people in human history. You have survived the extinction of our species. You have faced impossible odds without giving up hope. Whatever happens in the next few hours, Earth's children will face it together. In the shelter areas throughout Luna Station, families huddled together and listened to their admiral's words. Parents held their children close. Engineers continued working to keep the life support functioning. Soldiers prepared their weapons even though they knew personal firearms would be useless against starships. Dr. Lee worked steadily at the quantum field generator, preparing humanity's last desperate gamble. The mathematics were incredibly complex, the power requirements enormous. One mistake, and the field would collapse before reaching the enemy fleet. Captain Yoon Tai-ho, still hiding in his stealth ship near Saturn, watched the Vectari fleet through his sensors. The alien ships were spreading out in a defensive formation, staying far enough apart that no single weapon could destroy large groups of them. But they had never faced anything like the quantum displacement system. If it worked as Dr. Lee calculated, space itself would fold around the entire fleet, sending 50,000 ships to the same gray dimension where their predecessors were slowly dying. 4 hours until the final battle. 4 hours to save humanity or die trying. Kim Woo-jin recorded a message for any other humans who might still be hiding somewhere in the galaxy. If you receive this message, know that we tried. We faced an enemy that showed no mercy, gave no quarter, and accepted no surrender. We fought them with everything we had. We were never the weakest species in the galaxy. We were simply the most underestimated. Outside Luna Station, the attack drones continued their assault, testing humanity's defenses and preparing the way for the main fleet. Soon, War Admiral Krexval would order the final attack that would end the human species forever. Unless Admiral Kim Woo-jin could perform one last miracle. War Admiral Krexval watched the human moon through his command screens. The attack drones had been destroying the humans' outer defenses for 3 hours, but the main station still stood. Small explosions lit up the surface where weapons fought against his mechanical swarms. Sir, his tactical officer reported, drone losses are at 60%. The humans have stronger defenses than expected. Krexval's 4 eyes burned with impatience. No matter. Begin the final assault. All ships advance to attack range. I want that moon turned to dust. 50,000 warships began moving forward in perfect formation. Each ship was armed with weapons that could crack planets. Together they had enough firepower to destroy 100 worlds. On Luna Station, the quantum field generator had been charging for 4 hours. Dr. Lee Min-ho stood at the control panel, watching energy readings climb toward maximum levels. His hands shook from exhaustion and fear. Field strength at 95%, he announced to the command center. We're almost ready. Admiral Kim Woo-jin had said goodbye to his officers 1 hour ago. Now he stood in the elevator that would take him to the station's reactor core. In his hand was a small device that would let him manually calibrate the quantum field when the time came. Admiral, Captain Park Sora's voice came through his radio. The alien fleet is moving into attack range. We have maybe 10 minutes before they start firing. Understood, Kim Woo-jin replied. Min-ho, are we ready? As ready as we'll ever be, Dr. Lee answered. Admiral, once you activate the manual controls in the reactor core, the radiation exposure will be lethal within 5 minutes. Are you sure about this? Kim Woo-jin thought about his wife and daughter one last time. Then he thought about the 50,000 people on Luna Station who were counting on him to save them. I'm sure. Begin the final sequence. The elevator doors opened to reveal the reactor core, a massive chamber filled with pipes, cables, and the humming machinery that powered Luna Station. In the center was the manual control station, surrounded by warning signs about radiation danger. Kim Woo-jin walked to the control station and placed his hand on the scanner. The machine recognized his identity and activated the manual override. System. Manual controls online, he reported. I'm reading the quantum field status now. Dr. Lee's voice came through the radio. Field strength at 98%. Dimensional gateway preparing to open. Admiral, this is going to be the largest displacement field ever attempted. If it works, it will fold space around the entire enemy fleet. And if it doesn't work, then we all die in the next few minutes anyway. Through the reactor core's small windows, Kim Woo-jin could see the alien fleet approaching. Thousands of ships, their weapons charging, their crews ready to commit genocide against the last humans in the universe. Lieutenant Han Soo-jin's voice came over the radio. Enemy fleet at attack range. They're targeting our main power systems. Now, or never, Kim Woo-jin said. He pressed the manual activation switch. The quantum field generator screamed to life with a sound like reality itself being torn apart. Every light on Luna Station flickered. The life support system strained under the enormous power drain. Field strength at maximum, Dr. Lee reported. Dimensional gateway opening. Admiral, the field is expanding faster than I calculated. It's going to be bigger than we thought. Kim Woo-jin could feel the radiation cooking his body from the inside. His skin was already burning and his vision was starting to blur. But he kept his hands steady on the controls, making tiny adjustments to keep the quantum field stable. Gateway, fully open, Dr. Lee announced. Initiating mass displacement in 3, 2, 1, the universe went silent. For one impossible moment, space itself seemed to pause. Then reality snapped back like a rubber band, and 50,000 alien warships simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not scattered. Gone, as if they had never been there at all. Sergeant Choi Hyun-woo stared at his sensor displays in amazement. Complete displacement confirmed. All enemy ships have vanished, no debris, no energy signatures, nothing. But something else had happened too. Around the entire solar system, space itself had changed. A barrier of twisted dimensions now surrounded Earth, Sun, and all its planets. Nothing could get in from outside, and nothing could get out. Dr. Lee looked at his instruments with wonder and horror. The quantum field didn't just displace the ships. It created a permanent dimensional wall around our whole solar system. We're completely isolated from the rest of the galaxy. Captain Park So-ra tried to contact Captain Yoon Tae-ho in his stealth ship, but there was no response. The dimensional barrier was blocking all communications with the outside universe. Admiral Kim, Dr. Lee called into his radio. Admiral, please respond. There was only silence from the reactor core. The radiation levels there had been lethal for the past 10 minutes. Dr. Shin Era was studying the dimensional barrier through her instruments. The space-time tears we were worried about, they didn't spread outward like we feared. Instead, they formed this protective shell around our solar system. It's like the universe healed itself by quarantining us. 6 months passed. Luna Station became a center of rebuilding rather than just survival. The dimensional barrier worked both ways. It kept threats out, but it also kept humans in. They were safe but alone. Captain Park So-ra, now promoted to admiral, stood in the rebuilt command center looking at reports from across the solar system. Humans were returning to Earth, starting new cities, building new ships. The population was growing again. Admiral, Dr. Lee said, entering with a cup of coffee and a tired smile. We've received some interesting signals from deep space. From outside the barrier? Park So-ra asked. Not exactly from outside, but somehow getting through. Very faint, very strange. Dr. Bai Yuna thinks they're distress calls. Dr. Bai Yuna joined them, carrying translation equipment. "I've been analyzing the signals for weeks," she said. "They're from different species across the galaxy. All of them are under attack by various alien empires. All of them are asking for help from something they call the Ghost Fleet Guardians." "Ghost Fleet Guardians?" Park Sora asked. "That's what the galaxy is calling us now," Dr. Bay explained. "The story of the vanishing fleet has spread everywhere. Species under attack are sending messages hoping the mysterious Guardians will save them too." Dr. Lee looked thoughtful. "We never figured out how to reverse the quantum displacement. Those 50,000 Vectari ships are still trapped in the dimensional void, along with the 5,000 from before." "And they're still alive?" Park Sora asked. "As far as we can tell, yes. Trapped in a gray dimension where their ships slowly fail but they remain conscious. It must be a nightmare for them." Park Sora walked to the window and looked out at Earth. The planet was green again, with new forests growing where cities had burned. Children played in parks built over the ruins of old battlefields. "Dr. Shin," she said to the physicist, "is there any way to modify our dimensional technology? Maybe create temporary barriers instead of permanent ones? Help other species defend themselves without trapping them forever?" Dr. Shin Ara looked excited. "Actually, I've been working on that idea. If we could create smaller, controllable displacement fields, we might be able to help other worlds without the catastrophic side effects. And how would we get this technology to them if we're trapped inside our barrier?" "We might not be as trapped as we think," Dr. Lee said quietly. "I've been studying the barrier's structure. It's incredibly complex, but there might be ways to create temporary openings. Small ones, just big enough for unmanned probes or very small ships." 3 years later, Admiral Park Sora stood in a new kind of command center. Luna Station had been expanded into a massive complex dedicated to monitoring the galaxy and developing new defensive technologies. Dr. Lee had succeeded in creating controllable quantum displacement systems. Instead of permanent exile to gray dimensions, the new system could create temporary timeout zones where aggressive fleets would be held for days or weeks before being released. The first test probe had successfully passed through the dimensional barrier and made contact with a species called the Kalani, who were under attack by a different alien empire. The probe carried detailed plans for building their own defensive displacement system. "Admiral," Communications Officer Kim Hai-wan reported, "we're receiving confirmation signals from the Kalani system. They've successfully built and tested their defensive system. The attacking fleet has been displaced temporarily and the aggressors are now willing to negotiate instead of fight." Park Sora smiled. It was working. Humanity had gone from victims to guardians, using their hard-won knowledge to protect other species from the same fate they had suffered. "Any word from our diplomatic probe in the Vectari home system?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am. The Vectari Empire has agreed to prisoner exchange negotiations. They want their displaced fleets back, and they're willing to discuss peace treaties with the species they've been attacking." It had taken 4 years, but Dr. Lee and his team had finally found a way to reverse the quantum displacement. The 55,000 trapped Vectari crews could be brought back to normal space, though the experience had changed them. Many of the returning aliens spoke of the gray dimension as a place of reflection, where they had time to think about the violence they had committed.